Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today on Full Throttle Drive. So I wanted to talk a little bit in this video about the C8. Now the C8 is a huge part of this channel because eventually that is my end goal. I'm doing this 1 year of vlogging. I've set this goal up for myself, and getting the C8, it's not really about the monetary saving up for it. Monetary isn't really the issue. It is I wanted to set a goal for myself that would be very easy to fail in, to make the C8 not just the enjoyment of being able to get it, but to have a reason why I'm getting it. And I really thought that if I share these videos with everybody, able to attain purchasing a C8 and getting that allocation, I would be able to share it with you guys, and you guys would be able to watch the journey as that progresses. And it's going to take a long time before I grow and this channel grows, but slowly but surely we will. And I'm going to be putting out tons of content with the C6 I have, but my end goal is to get the C8 and to show what it's capable of, because I am so excited for it, guys. We have so much we've learned, and there's still a lot we don't know, but there's a lot of good speculation out there, and I really think Chevy is going to do great things with this C8. They hit the C7 out of the ballpark. They have done amazing with their sales because it's been such a successful Corvette. Their series with the Stingray has just been phenomenal, and they really did. They really did a great job, and it's shown in their success. And I think they're using a lot of this success to move on to the next generation. All this extra money they've made from the the C7 lineup is going to go straight into reinventing the C8. And the C8 is huge for a lot of reasons. The main being that it's obviously a mid-engine vehicle. Most of you already know that. If you don't, yes, it's going to be a mid-engine vehicle, and we've pretty much all but confirmed that. Chevy hasn't said anything, but there's reps that have already come out and said, hey, it is going to be a mid-engine vehicle. We just don't know all of the specs, but I wanted to share with you a lot of the possibilities on that vehicle and why I think it's going to be just such a successful line that Chevy brings out. The first thing I want to talk about is the C7, the current Stingray, has been so popular. It's rumored that they're actually going to keep the C7 with the C8. Usually, once one lineup starts, they discontinue the last, series of vehicles. So when the C7 came out, the C6 lineup was obviously stopped. They stopped producing it. Only the allocations that were left on the lots were there to purchase, and eventually those were gone. So what are they going to do with the C8? I believe they're going to keep both generations going hand in hand because the C7 is so successful. And I'm going to pair off for the reason why they do that is because I believe the C8 is going to be a little bit more expensive. See, the Chevy at its heart is attainable for so many people. At $55,000, you really do get an incredible value. Now, that's a lot of money for most people. $55,000 is not a small sum, but for what you get, 460 horsepower, 450 pound-feet of torque, just a beautiful vehicle. $55,000 is really, it's not that bad in value terms when you look at it compared to other cars in its segment. Performance, interior-wise, its value is up there, and that's why it's so popular. So I think with the C8, their pricing is going to be much higher, and that's going to be a huge reason why they actually keep the C7 lineup. They want to keep a lot of their customers happy and allow them the ability to still purchase a Corvette. So I think the pricing is going to be higher on the C8, probably I'm guessing in the $85,000, maybe $90,000 range. It could be $75,000 starting, that's still $20,000 more, but I'm going to go $80,000, $85,000 as their starting vehicle. And when I say starting vehicle, there are going to be multiple vehicles, and we know that. But their base model is probably going to be about that $80,000 to $85,000. And what do we know about the vehicle? Now, as you're seeing, there are some great spy shots, and then there's some beautiful renderings from those spy shots. And I think it looks amazing. There's been some people that think the rear of the vehicle is maybe questionable, but you know what? That happened actually with the C7. There were people that thought the C7 was going to look ridiculous, and it was just, you know, it was a masterpiece. Maybe everybody doesn't agree on the taillights, but I think it looks great. I think they did a great job with the design work on the C7, and I think they will do great with the C8. Now, it's going to change how the Corvette looks, and there was actually an editor that saw it, and they said it looked like a, you know, a Lotus in the front, but the front fascia looked like a ZR1, and that's probably all of those air ducts that are, you know, allowing air to float into the vehicle, but it still is going to cool the engine that's in the rear. You know, it is, again, a mid-engine vehicle, so it's going to look so much different. It's not going to have that huge long nose. It's going to be kind of a short, snub-nosed vehicle, and then it's going to be much more elongated in the back, which a lot of the Corvettes still have a large back to them, and that's for a ton of trunk space, and so they, you know, there's a lot of reasons for that, but again, the car is going to be proportioned completely different, and so that look is going to look different. But I think the renderings look great. I think the rear looks amazing. I really like the wheels that are on the current spy shots, but it's just one of those things that I think that they have already done a lot of great things, and they're going to continue to make tweaks and changes, but so far what I've seen looks really good. And this is for this base model. And what do we know? The engine. We know that it's probably going to be some sort of variation, maybe a dual overhead cam, a 5.5 liter, maybe around 500 horsepower. Now, there is some talk of a flat plane crank engine, which would be incredible. That means the sound would be, you know, completely different, being such a high revving engine. We don't know. So it's going to be probably something like that, 500, maybe 550 horsepower, 100 horsepower bump from the current base C7. Now, what do we know that could be possible further? Hybrid. Now, I don't know too much more about this. There's, you know, this is when really the speculation. We know the C8's coming out. We know it's probably going to be 5 to 550 horsepower. We know some of these things, but hybrid, that could be a different variation of the new C8. If they go hybrid, it's going to be much higher in horsepower. It's probably going to be, you know, all-wheel drive, possibly, where there's electric powering the front wheels and then maybe gas powering the rear wheels. We don't know really anything about that. This is almost pure speculation, but there's a lot of, you know, good information behind some of the speculation that some of these people know that we just don't know. And a lot of these people can't share the reason they know that because it could out them, and they're not really supposed to be leaking some of this information. Now, let's move back to what we do know about the base. There's a good chance it is going to be a dual clutch transmission, a DCT. How good will it be? Well, you know, it's probably going to be pretty good. It probably will not be as good as maybe a Porsche and some of these other brands that just have these lightning quick. We'll see. We'll see what they're capable of. They may do a great job. I still think Porsche enthusiasts are going to say it's probably not as good as the Porsche dual clutch transmissions, but we'll see. We'll see what they have to say when it does eventually come out. Does that mean that there won't be a manual? I sure hope not. There is a lot of talk on that, and a lot of people think that they're going to get rid of the manual. I hope not, but they may end up doing that, and my reasoning for that is if they keep the C7 lineup, they're going to say, well, this is the manual option you have. If you want to keep with a Corvette with a manual, you can get it in any of our versions all the way through the ZR1. If you want to go to the C8, which is a mid-engine, which is going to be competing in the mid-engine class, we want to keep up with these lightning fast dual clutch transmission shifts that come out of, you know, the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, any of those car segments. So that's my reasoning, where I'm going to be really bummed if that's the case, but it very well may. I'm thinking it probably is going to be a dual clutch transmission. If it is, I'm still going to get a C8. I would hate to lose my manual. Maybe I can eventually get a manual alongside the C8, but we'll see. We'll see when the time comes how it all works out for that. But that is some of the things that we know. What else do we know? We do know the best time for it to be debuted is possibly the 2019 Detroit Auto Show. Now, we'll see about that. We'll see if that is the case. This isn't set in stone. But if that's true, look, January 14th, 2019. that is when they will be debuting it. If that is the case, it's the 14th through I believe the 26th of 2019. Then it will be released after that, probably not even till 2020 is really when the final release date will end up being. I hope it's earlier than that, but I highly doubt it. I'm guessing early 2020, maybe late 2019 if we can get lucky. But again, I doubt it. I don't think any of the releases will be at that point. But I'm really looking forward. I really think, again, this car is going to be phenomenal. I have high hopes. A lot of people had high hopes with the C7, and I think they attained a lot of the goals they were going for. Now, this is a huge changeover. Going to a mid-engine is going to change so many things. They have a lot of things they got to work through. So there could be some problems they run into. We'll see. But nonetheless, if it is anything like what we're seeing and we're starting to see leaked, and especially with a lot of this confirmation, I'm on board. I'm totally on board, and I will try my very hardest to get an allocation, and I will put whatever down payment they need to get that allocation at that time. So I really hope you know, you guys want to join me on that journey, and you know, like I said, I'm going to keep putting tons and tons of content out until that time comes, but I'm going to keep updating you guys on, you know, some of that information. I'm going to talk about different cars. There's, you know, the 2020 Mustang GT500, and I want to make a video talking to you guys about that. And I know there's tons of information out there, but, you know, if you guys enjoy following me, you know, we can converse on these different things, and I want to, you know, share the knowledge that I know and some of the information that's come my way with you guys. So that probably is going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are just great. Hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. Smash that subscribe button if you have enjoyed this and you're not already following the Full Throttle Drive family. And I appreciate it. You all have a great night and take care.